fit more for a movie when the hero saves the day. It's something The Dark Knight has done before. And with 6 wins and an ERA of just over 2, A.J. Burnett is doing it again. Can Batman save the day as the Bucs look for a sweep of the Phillies? Find out next.
More loyal Pirates fans on hand this afternoon, hoping the Pirates are grilling up a sweep of their cross-state rivals, the Philadelphia Phillies. This is Game 3 of the 3-game weekend set. Hi again, everyone, with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Smikowski with us as well. Pirates taking the first 2 games of this series, and veteran right-hander and former Philly A.J. Burnett hopes to make it a perfect 3 in a row.
Well, definitely what we like to see from A.J. this afternoon. Go nice and deep in this ball game, be efficient, and add to these great numbers. We saw Cole put a nice little push toward maybe an all-star game appearance, and I think A.J. is also on that path. He's put up the numbers. He's got the good ERA. He's got the wins. A couple more wins would help him out with those voters.
A.J. last year with the Phillies struggled at 8-18. He's certainly turned things around this year. The Pirates with an all right-handed lineup against Cole Hamels. The veteran lefty has a 1.80 ERA against the Pirates since August of 09.
He's really one of the most highly sought-after, maybe trade guys in the league, or really in baseball. Everybody is thinking, where is this guy going to end up? It's almost like when he's pitching now, he's pitching for the scouts. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of them this afternoon sitting behind home plate making their reports on Hamels of how he's pitching and what he can do for some other team that might be a contender.
So Cole Hamels for the Phillies, A.J. Burnett for the Pirates. It's a battle for the Keystone State. The Bucs looking for the cross-state sweeps. Will they bring out the brooms and raise the Rogers today?
is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Well, they're all dressed and ready to go in one costume or another. PNC Park, Sunday afternoon, Kids Day. Third game of this 3-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. Buccos looking for a sweep today. And the kids patiently awaiting their favorite Pirate players to come out to their position, sign. A.J. Burnett a little late getting out to warm up. And he kind of goes out and warms up when he wants. So we're waiting for A.J. And while we do, let's go down and check in with Robbie and Smokowski.
Well, guys, as we wait for the big league ball players to take to the field, we had a really cool moment going on before anyone stepped on the baseball field today. And today was the Pitch for Hope Women's Baseball Clinic that took place. An annual event, happens every year. This year was the 5th time Clint Hurdle was able to be a part of it. We're all Pirates coaches, starting with manager Clint Hurdle. We're able to give instruction to everyone, put on a clinic for all the ladies in attendance. Proceeds from this morning's event benefit A Glimmer of Hope, a women's breast cancer support nonprofit, and the Breast Care Center at Allegheny General Hospital. Jeff Livesey and Jeff Branson gave coaching instruction. We had Nick Leva teaching them how to steal bases. Rick Sofield teaching them how to field. Then the outfield was a great day and a great time had by everyone. And most of all, Tim, the benefits, the proceeds benefit some great causes here in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, it's something the coaches do each year. I know they always look forward to it, and the turnout is always good. And there's a lot to be shared about baseball on a day like today. So the weather today had something to do with a slight delay in the start, too.
Yeah, nobody really knew exactly if we were going to get this going right away. It was raining off and on for about the last half hour, so that's why the pitchers delayed getting loose to see kind of in a way which way the wind was blowing.
Well,
so they finally decided that they were going to be able to warm up, and so both starting pitchers got going a little late.
And then if you lead Major League Baseball in wins and earned run average, you get to clean up the dugout too. Garrett Cole sweeping up the sunflower seeds on his day off, and now A.J. Burnett will take the field. And the Pirates will come on out behind him. So A.J. looking to continue his really good work here at PNC Park at 5 home starts. His earned run average is 160. He has done a tremendous job here, giving up just 2 home runs in 83 innings at this ballpark. 1-0 this year against the Phillies, as he won the game at Citizens Bank Park on the 12th of May. Let's take a look at the Honda lineup. Phillies will send up Ben Revere first, then Jeff Francoeur, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Maikel Franco, and then Dominic Brown called up from AAA Lehigh Valley. Darren Ruff sent back. Freddie Galvis. Carlos Ruiz batting 8th. Cole Hamels the pitcher. Will hit 9th. Well, it is Flag Day after all. When A.J. pitches, usually a different symbol shows up here. I don't know if that's a costume or his pajamas. What do you think?
I don't know. Could be left over from last Halloween. It definitely is appropriate, though. When AJ's on the mound, Batman signs, costumes come out. We'll see them all over the ballpark this afternoon.
That's a pretty nice outfit, isn't it? It's going all out. That's a Cape Crusader.
Yeah, he's got the shirt that AJ designed, Burnett, in the shape of a bat.
He looks serious. He looks very serious. So does AJ. How about his numbers?
AJ's numbers for the year: 12 starts. He is one half of them, but probably should have a couple more wins on there. He didn't get a lot of run support early on, and hopefully he can pick up a couple more quick wins. Get back in that all-star game hunt. Be nice to send Cole and him both there.
AJ's never been.
It's been a while since we've had starting pitchers to the All-Star game. We had that matchup here, by the way. Last two starters, the
Locke and Correa.
Yeah.
First pitch of the game is in for a strike to Ben Revere. So the last pitch he saw yesterday was a strike to end the ball game, and first one today. Here's a one-strike pitch, ground ball towards second. J-Hay there. What a throw across his body. That's a very difficult play. J-Hay made it very smoothly.
J-Hay is he's always amazed us with his versatility, the way he can move around different positions and make much better than average plays, if not outright just stunners at times. Very nice play there, going to the backhand. And it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about just infield either. He can go in the outfield, make all kinds of great diving catches out there.
Neil Walker out today as Pirates again going with a strictly right-handed lineup. Walker switch hitter, but bats predominantly left-handed. Now Jeff Francoeur takes ball one. Francoeur in left today. Hitting .267. He's appeared in all 3 games of this series. 1-1. Corey Hart making a start. We'll see Corey get some playing time over the next few days. Some left-handed pitchers out there. Pirates defense presented by Honda. Cervelli back behind the plate. Young, Mercer, Harrison, and Hart around the infield left to right. 2/3 of the outfield regular with Marte and McCutchen, and Sean Rodriguez, the super utility man, playing right field. He has shown us his defensive ability at first base too. He's been very good there when he fills in for Pedro late in ball games.
Yeah, 2 guys on the field at the same time. He basically can play everywhere. He and J-Hay. A lot of different combinations you can figure out with those 2 in the game at the same time if you had to.
You could flip-flop them today too. I mean, J-Hay could play right, Rodriguez can play second. 2-2 pitch. Francoeur rips it down the left field line. That'll hit toward the corner. Marte will cut it off barehanded, and Francoeur will walk into second base with a double.
Inside fastball. AJ's doesn't go in there much anymore with the fastball. He's been real good about staying away, but not this time. Look at the target. Ball over the inside half. I think one of AJ's real strengths this year has been his ability to throw fastballs consistently to that outside corner to right-hand hitters. Maybe not on that occasion there. It hurt him for a double.
Chase Utley, the batter. Utley, throughout his career, has been a doubles machine for the Phillies. Not this year, however. He does have 7 of them, but when the Pirates played him back in May, he had just 1, and he got it the day before the Pirates came in. Needs 9 more doubles for 350 in his career. It's a ground ball to the right side. J-Hay's got it, and there are 2 men out. Advancing to third is Jeff Francoeur. Let's look at today's Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, AJ's been throwing a lot of ground balls this year, and at times, especially it seems like over the last maybe handful of games, we haven't played real good defense behind him. Like to see that today, strong defense, and that's certainly the way it started so far. And also back to AJ, like to see him be efficient. Bullpens had to work quite a bit the other day with the extra innings, and then last night both Watson and Melanson having to come in.
Ryan Howard takes upstairs.
So the further AJ can pitch in this ball game, I think the better this afternoon.
AJ Burnett, 2,440 career strikeouts. He's 39th all time. His next strikeout will tie him with Jamie Moyer for 38. Gets a strike in there on Howard. And with a good day today, he could move into 37th. Andy Pettit would be next on the list, 2,448. He needs 8 to tie Pettit. This one's up in the air, deep to right center field. McCutchen going back. He leaps, and he makes the catch! Oh, baby, what a catch by McCutchen up against the ketchup bottle. Anticipation. It was worth the wait as McCutchen finally watched it come down into his glove. No score, headed to the bottom of the first. Go to the bottom of the first inning, and Kutch just happened again.
Really outstanding. They're talking about tightening up defense. Mainland is talking about the infield, but this even helps more when he can get up high on a wall and take an extra base hit away. Look at the timing on the jump. Right up at the very top.
J-Hay facing Cole Hamels. He's got some moves.
Yeah, a lot of the guys waiting there at the top of the steps and thank him for making that play.
Cole Hamels 0-2 ahead of J-Hay, making his 14th start today.
You can see why Hamels one of the sought after pitchers for trades. Hard to find a starting pitcher that is available that can have numbers like that.
Sun's coming up. J-Hay back to the dugout after striking out.
One of the question marks about Hamels is how available is he?
Well, that is a good question. Let's take a look at the Pirates Toyota lineup. We saw Harrison, Marte batting second. McCutchen, Jung Ho Gung hitting cleanup. Rodriguez fifth. Cervelli into the sixth spot. Corey Hart makes the start at first base. Then Mercer eighth and Burnett ninth. It's to Marte. He's had 6 hits in this series so far, including the game winner Friday night. Bottom of the 13th. Actually, that would have been yesterday morning. Somewhere close to 1:30 in the morning. 2 balls and no strikes. And a strike taken. Well, we talk about Hamels being sought after, but he keeps the Phillies in games right now in a season in which they've been out of a lot of them. The Phillies have lost 18 of their last 23. Marte down the right field line a long way. This ball is just foul. Almost hit the pole.
Almost hit the home run pole. I had it right there. It's in my hands.
Just to the right of the pole. It is a foul pole, by the way, unless it is struck by a baseball. And as Bob mentioned, it becomes the home run pole.
That's right.
We had that discussion on Tuesday. And Bob had a great story about the chalk line. Something 2-2 pitch. That's fouled off. Why they couldn't call it a fair line?
Yeah, I remember that. That was a story just to illustrate that I was kidding about the first
story. It was
story.
Determined to be inaccurate. 2-2. It's inside. And the count is full to Starling. Marte leading in RBIs with 43. 3-2 pitch. This one down to third. Oh, what a play by Franco. And he couldn't get it out of his glove in time, and Marte is safe. Well, Miguel Franco with a great play down there, but just couldn't complete it with the throw.
The more and more you see Franco, the more impressed you are with both the glove and that bat. Great diving stop and almost pulled this off. Throw a little offline, obviously.
Well, we've also seen him make some good throws, some really good throws in the series.
Very young player. You got to believe that the Phillies, in trying to figure out who's going to be part of the future and who's not, and that's kind of what they're doing this year. They definitely know he's going to be part of their future. Moved Ashley to the outfield so Franco could have third all to himself.
Andrew McCutchen, 284 average. He's hitting 286. He's hitting above his average against Hamels throughout his career. And he hits this one up in the air to center field. Going back is Rivera. Johnson makes the catch. And McCutchen took one away against the wall against Howard. Rivera takes one away against McCutchen. They're 2 down.
Long hesitation before Rivera decided that this ball was going to be deep. I mean, he stood there for a while.
McCutchen giving it a watch. If you look on the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. Now with 2 down, Jung Ho Gun the batter. Go to first base and Marte back. Ryan Howard thought he might have had one, but McCutchen caught it up against the ketchup bottle in the top of the first inning. Ben Revere has us back here in the bottom of the inning. You look at what Hamels has done this year, Bob. In 13 starts, he's had 9 really good ones, whereas combined ERA is 1.54. And he's had 4 bad starts, whereas combined ERA is 7.83. So more good than bad. As Hamels continues to play catch with Howard.
I think that's probably the way it is with most pitchers. Is they'll have a string of decent ones, and they'll have a stinker, and then they'll put some more good ones together. And then you got those guys that aren't like that. Well, they win Cy Youngs.
Yeah, that's right.
But they don't have those bad games, and at the end of the year, the ERA is 2.2, and they got 20 or at least close to it wins. But I think the average pitcher probably wins about a dozen games, and if you look at their starts, they're going to be something like that. 3 or 4 good ones and then a bad start. 3 or 4 good ones and a bad one. At least that'll be the ratio.
You look at Garrett Cole; his bad ones are a different level. He doesn't have terrible.
Yesterday it didn't look like he was really in sync, and I didn't think. For him, that's about as bad as he pitches, and he still goes out there and, for the most part, puts up zeros and gets wins.
Follows it off. I asked Clint Hurdle today for the Sunday radio show, have you ever had In your time as a manager, a pitcher who at this stage of the season had led the league in wins and in ERA, he said, nope, this is new territory. He said what Cole is doing is fantastic, and he wants to see it continue, obviously, as everybody does. Well, strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cole Hamels. No score after 1. Pirates baseball. We're highlighting the thrill of unexpected, never should have happened victories. The Puckos own a riveting collection of these wins, and you'll see them all on Inside Pirates Baseball. 10 great comebacks debuting Tuesday after postgame on Root Sports. That'll be a good one. Looking forward to that. Here we go to the second inning on the UPMC scoreboard. No score, 1 hit apiece. It's the Renegades of the Rotunda. That's where they sit, or really where they stand, because they're Renegades.
I like their flag.
Debuting that flag on Flag Day, 14th of June.
And that's really what the Jolly Roger is all about. It's not, if you look back in history, all the Jolly Rogers were a little different designs. Basic theme was always the same, but all the captains put their different twists on it.
Maikel Franco hitting .292.
Most of them had a laughing, so that's why they were jolly.
Strike 3, and Franco gives himself up. And he will hear about that more than likely.
Is there a new rule to where, like, when you strike out and the ball's in the dirt, you're automatically out, so you just walk back to the dugout?
It's a bad epidemic we're seeing in the game right now. This is something that you should make the catcher throw.
You know, it might just be like on hot days. Like if it's 85 or warmer, you just have to walk back to the dugout. You don't have to run the first.
Well, with that strikeout, A.J. Burnett has tied Jamie Moyer for 38th all-time on the all-time strikeout list. 7 more. He'll catch Andy Pettit for 37th. Pitch to Dominic Brown. Brown back up in the big leagues. Started the year on the disabled list, then was sent to Lehigh Valley. And had been playing for the Iron Pigs in AAA until today. Darren Ruff went back to AAA on the other side of that roster move. Saw Ruff appear in the first 2 games of this series. Point Park University tweets scrolling by the bottom of the screen in reference to the great catch by Andrew McCutchen in the top of the first inning off the bat of Ryan Howard. This one up in the air to left field. Over to his glove side left is Marte. Easy play for him. Can of corn. And there are 2 men out. Two out quickly. Top of the second.
be nice. He can get the third one quickly. The efficiency will be just right. He's thrown just 19 pitches at this point. He wants 7 for sure out of AJ. AJ probably expects to pitch 9.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been pitchers in recent years who wanted to pitch only 6.
I think AJ started when that was still possible.
He did.
He knows what
it's a grandfather clause. Yeah. It's grandfathered over to him. I remember Eric Bedard, who recently said he's retiring from baseball a few days ago. When he pitched here, Eric said 6 innings or 100 pitches, whichever comes first.
He embraced the new era.
1 ball and National League earned run leaders. Garrett Cole at the top, and he's got some distance between himself and number 2, Zach Greinke of the Dodgers, who's having a terrific year also. Shelby Miller of the Braves, and then there's Burnett 4th. 2 strike pitches there for call. Strike 3. That is out number 3. Phillies retired in order. Update. Jamison Tyon recovering from Tommy John surgery. Highly touted prospect for the Pirates. Yesterday pitched an extended spring training in Bradenton. 4 innings, 61 pitches, no issues whatsoever. Tyon is on the path back to pitching competitively in games. No word yet on the next step for Jamison, but soon enough. And it's determined that he is absolutely 100% ready to go. They'll make that next step with him. And who knows when we'll see Jamison Tyon make his major league debut. Maybe this year, maybe next. But he's getting close. And getting close to coming back pitching competitively in the minor leagues. Sean Rodriguez shoots this one foul.
He definitely is on the right track. And that's what's important is to see the health is there. And right now everything's going pretty good. There's no rush for him. Take his time and make sure he's ready.
Ball and 2 strikes to Sean Rodriguez. 264 hitter. He looks at a pitch down low. Hamels with 2 strikeouts in the game. AJ with 2 strikeouts in the game. These guys have fanned a lot of hitters over the years, and when you look at their numbers combined, 4,242 combined strikeouts. Hamels is 3rd on the Phillies all-time list. Rodriguez goes down on strikes. That's 3 for him in the game. Send your favorite Pirates to the 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Pirates.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Pirates.com/vote. Those two can't agree. So Belly fouls it off. Cervelli hitting .321, highest average on the Pirates. 1 homer and 16 runs batted in. Sat it out yesterday. Stewart matched up with Garrett Cole. Cervelli back out here today. Facing Cole Hamels. Ken Hamels chasing Steve Carlton. He's not going to get him, but he might get Robin Roberts. Robin Roberts, 1,871 career strikeouts. And Hamels needs 70 more to tie him for second all time on the Phillies list. But lefty Steve Carlton, 3,031. Bob, the guy was pretty good. You saw him firsthand.
Yeah, he's not going to get him. Not going to get him at all. At one time, he and Nolan Ryan were trading back and forth the all-time strikeout lead, depending on who was pitching what day. There was that season. Every time one of them got a start, they would take the lead, and it would go back and forth. Ryan, of course, ended up pitching a lot longer than lefty, and pretty much put that number out of sight.
There she blows. The Duchess. Ground ball towards short. Galvis gets Cervelli, 2 out.
First baseman, number 12, Corey Hart.
And Corey Hart now will come to the plate. Corey has the fewest at bats of any Pirate. Hart with just 41 at bats. He's 8 for 41, a 195 average. He's done most of his damage as a pinch hitter. In fact, 7 of his 8 hits have come as a pinch hitter. He fouls this one off. In fact, he was in the lineup against Hamels back in mid-May in Philadelphia. Hamels struck him out 3 times. But we're going to see Hart play over the next couple of days. You got left-hander pitching for the White Sox tomorrow night, and then the left-hander John Danks in game 1 in Chicago. So Corey may get the job as the designated hitter over in the American League Park on Monday. Pedro sitting it out today against the lefty. 0-2. This one fouled off. Hamels has been particularly tough against left-handed hitters, so that's why the Pirates have loaded up their lineup with righties. That is an old school boat heading along the river.
But the paddle wheeler actually.
The paddle's actually functioning.
Yeah, not just for looks. They're moving water.
That's how Steve used to get to the games. And Corey Hart strikes out, heading down to first base. Ruiz throws him out. 4 strikeouts in the game for Cole Hamels after 2 innings.
is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
More watercraft on the alley, Danny River.
They're two different styles of Jolly Rogers.
They're smiling though. See, they're all happy.
They're all jolly.
A.J. Burnett getting set to face Phillies here in the third inning. No score. Carlos Ruiz, his former catcher, is the opposition. And that is called a Hobie Cat, I believe, the pedal kind of kayak, and some interesting passengers. One is keeping an eye on where they've just been. Jung Ho Gun fires it on to first base, one out.
Nice on target throw by Jung Ho.
Get that first out before the pitcher comes up. Cole Hamels is 4 for 26 on the season. Those youngsters with their new Andrew McCutchen compression sleeves. Andrew's got the Sunday one on today. Match a Sunday uniform. Compression sleeves will help your performance, won't they?
And the ropes too. Don't forget the ropes.
Got to have the accessories. Jordy Mercer, as he played for him, 2 down. Let's take a look at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date 1930, the Bucks and Phillies played a doubleheader at the Baker Bowl in Philadelphia. Game 1 was an offensive slugfest with the Bucks coming out on top 19-12. 7 Pirates had multi-hits, including Pie Traynor, who went 3 for 5 and drove in 7. Phillies took game 2 5-4. That is the state flag right there. And they won't agree all day. Neither will they. But the Pirates have had the upper hand in the series overall in the history between the clubs. And here at PNC Park, Clint Hurdle's team has a 30-16 record against the Phillies. Ryan Sandberg, the Hall of Famer, managing and finding out the challenges and trials and tribulations of being a big league skipper. He was in the minor leagues with the Phillies when you were pitching for him, right, Bob?
Yes, he was down there. Juan Samuel, the first base coach.
Ben Revere strikes out. 1-2-3, retired for the second straight inning. Fly ball right now. 0-0. Bottom of the third. Jet ski time on this Sunday afternoon. Some blue skies up above now, Bob. Starting to be a pretty nice day. After we had just a little bit of rain come through earlier. Jordy Mercer will lead off.
Hope that's the case, but I don't know about that.
Look at that. Blue skies.
It'll be off and on today, I believe.
Ground ball to short. And Gallo scoops it up. 1 out. Jordy 0 for 1. Cole Hamels had his big year, and he's had some good years, no question about it. But his biggest year, his best year, 2008. National League Championship Series MVP, World Series MVP. And since 2008, the Phillies have been attempting to recapture that magic. They just have not been able to do it. Three out of 24 for AJ, a 125 average. 1-1 to count.
You know, one of the things that's tough, I think, for teams that get real good is to know when to let their players walk and go somewhere else, and you know when to hold on to guys. And I think that's part of the St. Louis Cardinals' success.
2 swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes AJ. Catch the excitement of Pirates baseball at PNC Park this summer with the Pirates Summer 6-Pack presented by Papa John's. For as low as $99, lock in your seats and price when you build your own 6-game plan. Plus, each Summer 6-Pack comes with a complimentary large 2-topping pizza from Papa John's. Find out more at pirates.com/summer. Top of the order, and AJ he strikes out. Harrison leads off.
We brought this up last time we played the Cardinals about Pujols and about how well they've done since they let him leave. And you know, a lot of people, I'm sure, Cardinal fans and other people around that will probably say, how could they do that? How could they let him leave?
Harrison, a line drive in the left.
Hey, you can't mortgage your future, you know. So that's all part of making the right decisions at the right time. And I guess sometimes you don't even know the right answers until they're done and you see how it works out. But the Cardinals have had a knack for making the right decisions.
So they had Alan Craig playing a little bit over there, and he led the world in batting average with runners in scoring position. Then Matt Adams went over there, did well. So they were able to find other ways to make up those numbers from Pujols.
And we'll see the way the rest of the season is going to go. They might be a little pitching challenge in the starting rotation with some of the injuries they've had.
Jay takes off, had a good jump, head first slide, beats the throw from Ruiz. And it's stolen base number 5 for Josh Harrison. Marte, who just stepped out of the box. He saw that Harrison had such a big jump he was going to take and let him get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. You know, you have somebody that's a base stealer on base. You got to be aware of what they're doing over there and let them have a shot at it. I mean, it's good for you, especially when there's 2 outs, because now you got a chance at an RBI. You see, a lot of times, you know, guys will swing in that scenario, and why? What? Let them take a shot at taking that base. Now maybe you can knock in a run.
1 ball, 2 strikes now.
You know, but back to that Cardinal thing real quick, what I was saying about their pitching. Excuse me, they've let some really good young pitchers go in the last year. Is that going to, have they made the right decisions about that? We'll have to wait and see. Not let go, but have traded.
And Harang, a veteran. Pirates have seen a lot of him, especially when he was with the Reds. He may be a guy who could be on the move. You never know. Down the line, a foul ball. almost another 2-out RBI for Starling Marte. He's got 26 of them. He's tied for the major league lead with Josh Reddick.
Closer than it even looked.
Crew chief Jeff Nelson making the call. So close.
And an easy run.
One-two pitch from Hamels. He spins around and says hi to Jay Hay. Ground ball towards short. Galvis throws him out. The runs hit a man left after 3 full. No score.
PNC Park. It's the Give a Spit campaign. This is Nestor Aparicio and his wife Jennifer. Nestor is a radio host in Baltimore, and you probably recognize this guy to my right, your left. This is Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, supporting the Give a Spit campaign. Nestor, can you explain what you're doing? It's 30 ballparks in 30 days to support a great cause.
My wife is a bone marrow transplant survivor. She had leukemia last year, and an anonymous donor saved her life. And the way it happens is by putting spit on a Q-tip, and we're here to swab people. And Coach Tomlin's even being nice to a guy from Baltimore.
And it takes, well, yeah, we'll talk more about that in a second, Mike. We'll have a word with you. It's really fast. What's the process like if people want to be a part of it?
It takes 30 seconds. You swab on the left side of your cheek, the right side of your cheek, and you get in the registry. And if you can save someone's life, they let you know.
Now, Jen, it was a 21-year-old anonymous donor from Germany that saved your life. What was that moment, and what was the procedure like in the recovery?
Actually, the procedure was really easy for me. It was like a blood transfusion, so it just went in through my port, and it was absorbed into my bones. It wasn't like, sawing into my bones or anything like that, so I had it really easy.
It was good stuff. Now, Mike, we got to ask you, first of all, supporting a guy from Baltimore, Mike, what's up with that?
Some things are bigger than athletics and the teams you root for.
Good. Why lend your name and why support this cause?
I've got an opportunity to know and love these guys over the years. They're good friends of ours. And, when you're close to something like leukemia, that's all the information you need. When Aaron Smith's son Elijah got diagnosed with leukemia a number of years ago, I think that forever changed me. And when I have an opportunity to support a cause like this, absolutely I will.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Nestor and Jen, best wishes on the tour.
Give a spit.
And Give a Spit, there it is, www.giveaspit.com. Tim, it's a great cause.
All right, thank you very much, Robbie. And for Frank Core, it is now 2 for 2 as he loops one into center field. Nestor and Jen.
It's a big swab, I'll tell you that.
That is a big swab. And Mike Tomlin donating his time and lending his name. And they've been busy, over at Steelers camp on the south side. OTAs going on, organized team activities, which is a fancy name for practice.
That time of year, we're getting around the corner. Won't be long.
Thought that was funny. OTAs. Organized team activities, where they get together.
Is that what it stands for?
Oh, yeah. Oh. It's been going on a long time.
I've always heard the name OTAs, but I never really knew what it meant.
Say Suntley takes a strike. It's not like they have team building exercises like a corporate situation. They come over and
they do the
play games,
trust things where they fall in each other's arms.
Yeah, three-legged races, things like that. No, it's just practice. Somebody came up with a creative name for it a bunch of years ago.
Off-season training, what?
No, organized team activities.
I thought trying to throw you there.
So in other words, practice would be unorganized team activity? No, it's just practice. But they're working hard. Oh, June 14th. I mean, in a month or so, they'll be reporting in Latrobe. Won't be long. Well, nobody out, runner at first. No score, top of the fourth. Chase Utley 0 for 1. Pulls this one foul. Utley's been one of the big stories for the Phillies this year. 36 years of age. You saw last night what he can do defensively. He had a great game defensively last night, but with the bat, it's been a much different story for him this year. He's been hitting in the 100s all year. Came into the game today hitting 187. A year ago today, 309. Same number of home runs in the same neighborhood in RBIs, but the average way off. In the air to center field. Can of corn for Kutch. One out. And Utley is 0 for 2. AJ's been getting mostly ground balls and strikeouts, but he does have 3 fly ball outs, 1 each inning.
I threw that ball out. I didn't like it because it wouldn't get on the ground. It was a fly out.
Bad baseball.
Got it back from the outfield. Decided to change it out.
Well, Ryan Howard gave everybody a scare until McCutchen caught the ball in deep right center field. Up against the wall.
When Howard hits one in the air deep, gives everybody a scare. He's hit a lot of home runs. Not this year, but career-wise.
Frank Court first, 1 down, and Howard in the air to right. Rodriguez right there for the just high catch.
Broken bat. You hear it come apart.
And still some of those guys from the World Series team on this roster. Howard and Utley, as well as Cole Hamels.
Might have been a changeup. He was so far out in front of it. Could have been a curveball. Didn't really look like it had much of a side break to it. There's a curveball.
Strike one to Maikel Franco. Career-long hitting streak of 11 games. Longest hitting streak of any Philly this year. Runner takes off. AJ steps off. Throws to second. And Francoeur is gunned down. And that's how the inning ends. No runs a hit. That is it through 3.5. Still scoreless at PNC Park. Josh Miller spends a morning with former Pirate Dick Groat. Hear from the Pittsburgh native as he discusses the Pitt Panthers, the Pirates, and what it was like being a two-sport athlete during the 1950s. On a day in the life, Tuesday at 6 on Root Sports. No score, bottom of the fourth inning. McCutcheon now 0-1. Dick Groat, one of the absolute classics. Never spent a day in the minor leagues. Played Major League Baseball and in the NBA with Fort Wayne with the Pistons. Definitely check out that show.
Awesome athlete, wasn't he?
Just incredible.
I can't remember now, but did he walk on it?
That's toward the gap. And McCutcheon will take a big turn, and he'll put the brakes on. He was thinking about two, but he'll take a base hit, and the Pirates have the leadoff man aboard.
Really hit hard. Maybe if I touch, thought perhaps that was going to shoot the gap because he hit it so hard. Well, it did get cut off.
For a moment, you thought he was headed to second, and then
he thought he was headed to second.
Had to pull the chute.
Yep.
Go to first, catch back. I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know if he walked on it, Duke.
I don't know why I have that in my mind. I thought that the story was. I hope I don't have this mixed up with somebody else. That he went down there with a friend of his that was recruited, and basically got on the team also. Something like that. I think if I'm remembering the story correctly.
Well, if that was the deal, it was a good package deal they made.
Yeah, yeah.
Dick ended up in the College Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. As I said before, just an amazing story, a tremendous athlete. And then when he was done, just came up and decided, I'm going to be a Pirates shortstop in the big leagues right away.
Yep. And he was the MVP of the 1960 World Series champion team.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was just
National League MVP.
A player. MVP of the league.
Yeah, good. 1-1 to Jung Ho Gun. Popped it up. Twisting toward the seats. Howard at the railing won't get it. It's the first time Jung Ho's batted cleanup since he's been here in the big leagues. Against left-handers, you'll see lineups that are a little different.
That's a good way to give some of the left-hand hitters a day off.
Stretch by Hamels and pitch. Strike three called. Got him looking on the inside corner. And Jung Ho has struck out twice.
It froze him with that good fastball on the inside corner.
Sixth strikeout for Cole Hamels.
Well placed. Right on the edge. Call that a 7-2-4 pitch. So on the edge.
You mean like the area code 724?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Living on the edge. You're not supposed to explain it. People are just supposed to.
They're supposed to figure it out. There you go, thinking again. I'm thinking one of those Sean Rodriguez. It's the old saying, don't think, you'll hurt the ball club. To right field, and Dominic Brown will haul it in for out number 2.
Yeah, another old baseball saying that I found to be wrong.
How is it wrong?
People that don't think make a lot of mistakes on the field. We see a lot of unthinking now.
I think it was meant as a reactionary comment, just react in certain situations. Of course, this is a thinking man's game.
It absolutely is.
thinking person's game. Beg your pardon.
It's probably a cliche somebody used so they didn't have to answer a question. Be my guess.
2 down, and Cervelli swings and lines it to right field. A base hit. That stops at second. First and second, and 2 down. Cervelli 1 for 2.
You're going against a guy like Hamels. Sometimes you don't get a lot of opportunities to get any kind of a big inning going. Now, this is not like a huge opportunity, obviously, because there's 2 outs, but you got a couple of base runners on, and hard at the plate, who doesn't have a lot of at bats lately. But as we've seen, especially in the past in his Brewer years, he's got some power in that bat. Come up with a gap shot or a long one.
7 for 32 against Hamels with a pair of home runs.
Cervelli, for a catcher, can run a little bit. He can find a gap. Cervelli could score. Be nice to get up 2-zip.
Two balls and no strikes to Corey. Hart's 0 for his last 5. See that curveball grip that Hamels starts out with. Either keep it or change it. 2-1.
Circle change. Takes the speed off the ball without changing anything else. The arm action, the delivery, all stays identical to the fastball. It's just the grip takes the velocity off.
Two ball, 2-strike pitch to Hart. Hit him. And that'll load the bases.
The opportunity to do something here gets even a little bigger. Now you don't need that extra base hit to score a couple. It's a single. A breaking ball down and in, and just a little glancing blow right across the shoelaces.
Jordy Mercer batting with the bases full. He will take a strike. Jordy has a hit with a couple of runs batted in this year with the bases full. His average up to 224 now. And 4 for 7 in his last 2 games. Sits safely in 9 of his last 10 coming into today. Ball, 1 strike to Jordy. First time today the Pirates have had more than 1 man on base in an inning. Now they've got him loaded up in the 4th. It's 2-1. Touch at third base. He had a leadoff single. Cisco Cervelli, a 2-out base hit to right. And at first base, Corey Hart, who was hit by a pitch. 2-1 to Mercer. It's down to third base. Franco will just beat Cervelli to the bag, get the force out. And the Pirates end up stranding 3 in the 4th. No score, heading to the 5th. Up at 7:05, first 20,000 receive a Pirates replica camo cap. Thanks to PNC Bank. Don't forget Father's Day is right around the corner. Pirates tickets make a perfect gift for Dad. Get yours at pirates.com. Camo hat right there. It'll come in handy in November. All the camo hats.
All over the place.
You know what I heard about camo? It's part of America's away uniform.
Yeah.
All right, top of the 5th inning, no score. Starting to look like Friday night here. Taco, the third baseman, who was left at the altar when Jeff Francoeur was caught trying to go to second base. He left early. AJ stepped off, threw him out. Pirates have a major league leading 7 caught stealings by the pitchers. Swinging bunt. AJ will field it. Whips it on to Hart at first for the out. That goes 0 for 2. AJ has retired the first batter in 4 of 5 innings. Only man to reach on him to lead off an inning was Francoeur in the 4th.
Oh, what a great recipe that is. Get that first one.
It changes the dynamic of an inning. Especially from the pitcher standpoint, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, from the hitter standpoint.
Dominic Brown is 0 for 1. He flied to left in the second. And he does it again here in the 5th. 2 men out.
Quick outs. AJ's not even 50 pitches yet.
One of the things the Pirates do keep track of, I'm sure a lot of other teams do as well, but the Pirates like to keep track of outs that occur in 3 pitches or less. And they've got stats on all that stuff. Doesn't always happen that way when you record an out on 3 pitches or less, but that's what they'd like to have in a perfect world. Makes for a very economical day, an effective day, pitch count wise. Want to know to Galvis, he struck out looking in the second. Two 2-0. I wonder if somebody could put together a number. I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I could. It'd take me too long to figure it out, but if we can put together a number on how many things they actually keep track of in this game. It would be just one more thing to keep track of course.
You're adding one to it.
Yes, but it'd be interesting to know what that number would be, because there's so many things now. Two-one delivery to Galvis. That was a strike. And they keep track of players' steps now. Walking out to their position, walking back, running the bases. Keep track of everything. Ray's got a different color on that pen for different things. 2-2. Galvis, a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Burnett.
He's got one of those sleeves on. Gray road sleeve.
This one is fouled back. Maybe you should start wearing one on TV days to keep your arm loose.
For the open, your microphone arm.
Yeah, you don't want to have a sore microphone arm. Galvis to right field, and on the run, Rodriguez. He'll. Sensational.
can't wait to see this one several times. I mean, could he have been more flat out with that dive? Oh, my goodness.
This is a ball player, folks. Wow. Sensational. What a catch by Sean Rodriguez.
Absolute commitment, wasn't it? Just laying straight out as far as he could reach and running as fast as he could.
We see him play this game no matter what position he plays. He plays it 1,000% all out. That's the way he was brought up in the baseball world. His dad was his coach, and he played all over the diamond. Burnett strikes out for the second time today. See it again.
Yeah, this ball's hooking away from him also.
Man, oh man, what a catch.
Awesome play.
Josh Harrison is 1 for 2. Big league players certainly appreciate a big league play.
I think Jay Hay probably loved that as much as anybody. That's kind of a mirror image of himself. You know, going out there, going hard all the time. Doesn't matter where he's at. He just wants to be in that lineup every day. And that's how Sean is.
We've seen Jay Hay make that same play in the same part of the field before.
Yeah.
See the Point Park University tweets reacting to it. Harrison down on strikes. What a day so far for Cole Hamels in terms of the strikeout.
Well, this hasn't been really a good homestand for the offense. Kind of wondering what was going to happen with Hamill out there. He certainly can pitch extremely well. As you pointed out, he's had a number of games this year where his ERA is in the ones.
Hamill's having a good day at the office so far. 8 strikeouts through 4 2/3 innings. He's working on number 9 right here as Marte trying to get him. Marte 1 for 2, had a base hit in the first, grounded out to short in the third. got the change, he's got the curve, he's got the fastball, and also his cutter is very effective. And he strikes out Marte. Marte has to go down to first and a ball in the dirt. He is out. Hamels strikes out the side. 9 strikeouts through 5 innings.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
We're through 5 full, heading to the 6th. 2 hits for the Phillies, 4 for the Pirates. No runs in yet with Bob Walk and Robbie and Smikowski. I'm Tim Everett on a Kids Day Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Catcher Carlos Ruiz leads off against Burnett, takes a curveball for a strike. Ruiz grounded out to Jung Ho at third base in the 3rd. Kids got their compression sleeves on today. Foul ball, and that's strike 2. .35 for Ruiz. AJ tries the curveball again, couldn't get the chase.
Yeah, early in the season, I think it was AJ and Hamels were together, kind of leading the league in poor run support. With both of them going today, I guess you kind of expect this. Now I know that AJ's had some pretty good run support of late. May have pulled him out of that stat.
Right at J-Hay for out number 1. Again, there you go, getting the first batter out. He's done that in 5 of 6 innings, but it's even more important to do it when the pitcher's up second.
Yeah, you absolutely don't want that pitcher being able just to do something positive by laying down a bunt, moving a runner in the scoring position. Break the tie with a single after that.
Popped up on the first pitch. Marte coming in. 2 quick outs. 2 down. The order turns over to the top end. Revere coming up. He's 0 for 2.
You like to see AJ take advantage of 2 quick outs like that. Just go right at Revere. If Revere takes him, then jump ahead. If he swings the bat, maybe he hits it at somebody, and you're already back in the dugout, just throwing a handful of pitches.
Saw the Cape Crusader hiding behind the wall there. Revere has grounded out and struck out. Ben Revere is the Phillies leader in batting average, 272. Also in base hits with 67. Corey Hart tackles it. 2 pitches. And a quick inning. 8 pitches in the inning to record 3 outs. Allegheny Health Network Supermo providing us with some outstanding pictures today. Andrew McCutcheon, first ball swinging, grounds it to short. And there's 1 out. That's the 5th ground ball out for Cole Hamels. He's got 2 flyouts, 9 strikeouts. So 9 of the 16 outs in the game recorded so far have come by way of strikeout. Gung has struck out twice. First pitch out, that's something a pitcher always likes too, especially with the first batter of the inning. Touch 1 for 3 and Jung Ho 0 for 2. Well, we've got a pitcher's duel today.
Yep, a nice hot warm day with 2 veterans going at each other.
I asked Clint about that today prior to the game. I said, what about this game with 2 grizzled veterans? He says, well, our veterans probably more grizzled than their veteran. But Hamels, for lack of a better term, showing some grizzle today. Two. Breaking ball low, 3-2. Today's game number 62 on the season. Exactly 100 left in the regular season after today. Check swing, he didn't go, and Jung Ho draws a walk. 1 out, and the Pirates have a man aboard. Wednesday, June 24th, the Bucs host the Reds in a Central Division showdown at 7:05. Make sure sure to stay after the game for a midweek fireworks spectacular as Zambelli Fireworks light up the sky, presented by Service Link. Don't forget, Father's Day is just around the corner. Pirates tickets make a perfect gift for Dad. Take your dad to the ballpark. Go to pirates.com and get your tickets. It's turned into a nice afternoon. Look at this.
Hot and warm. Or hot and muggy. I mean hot and warm.
Rodriguez 0 for 2. Made that spectacular catch to end the top of the 5th. Taking away a double from Freddie Galvis. He laid out.
Looked out there earlier in the whole map. Saw some green spots out over Ohio. Still some thunderstorms to the west, but most of them are
Kevin.
Most of them are far enough away. It doesn't look like we're going to have anything but sunshine the rest of the afternoon for us. Don't have to worry about any delays. Boy, after the other night, we don't want any more delays. One and two. Makes for a long night. You mix in rain with extra innings.
Yes. With a capital Y. A lot of movement on that pitch.
Yeah, cut that ball right down underneath the bat.
1-2 from Hamels. Rodriguez is down on strikes. That's 10 for Hamels. Let's go back to Dan Potash for this State Farm game break. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, Jays have been hot, very hot, taking it out on Boston at Fenway. Francisco Cervelli fouls this one back, and it's 0-1. So Rodriguez becomes the 10th strikeout victim. Pitch on that inside edge, and Sean not happy about something. To talk to Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire. More than likely about a previous pitch rather than the last one he swung at.
They had to be upset about first pitch, obviously. Can't be upset about the ones he's swinging at, unless he's upset with himself.
Clint calls Sean Serpico. Apparently he saw the side-by-side picture of Sean Rodriguez and Al Pacino in the Serpico movie poster. They look rather similar.
Now this could be the one that he didn't like. Oh yeah, he didn't like it. That put him back on the defensive. And it makes it to where you have to swing at something you might think's borderline.
Cervelli rung up on appeal. 2 more strikeouts for Cole Hamels. He has 11. And we're through 6 innings. T-Mobile game changer. Take a look at Andrew McCutcheon off the bat of Ryan Howard. Into the first inning. What a catch. Absolutely terrific catch. Over the rim of the bottle. And how about this one? He's the one who needs the cape.
Look at that. How it just absolutely laying out.
Defense in the outfield. Our T-Mobile game changer. No score, top of the 7th inning, and AJ's first pitch is ripped out. Oh, what a play by Jung Ho!
Game changer.
Wow!
That's a leadoff double he just took away.
Jung Ho throwing the leather at third base. A spectacular play.
It seems like Frank Coor's been able to hit a lot of inside pitches hard off us. That was another one.
What a pick with a backhand. Just terrific. Go now 2 for 3. 1 down. And again, AJ retires the first batter of the inning. For the 6th time in 7 innings. Even Frank Coor has to smile about that play. He has to appreciate a good play against him. Doesn't have to like it. He fouls this one off.
My experience, most of the players' reactions are not a smile after that. They are highly agitated. They lose extra base hit. Especially if you can poke them a little bit when they get back to the dugout.
How would an expert like you go about doing that?
Like, oh, you could see that they're trying to relax a little bit. That they're trying not to lose it. And then you just give them a well-timed, can't hit it better than that. You know, something like that.
Yeah, just what they want to hear.
That'll set them off.
It's just what a hitter wants to hear.
You know, something like, hang with them, they'll fall. You know, there's a number of little things you can say that push them over the edge.
See, that's probably what Hamels is saying to Frank Coor right now. I mean, the day's going Hamels' way.
Now, some guys you can't push over the edge because it's not in their personality. They will laugh it off. Most guys, yeah, you can.
Popped up and a long run for Jung Ho as he was playing in the shift and gone with a catch. Utley is 0 for 3. Jung Ho, the first 2 big plays of this inning.
Well, he can't take his eyes off it. So he has to just go by, really his feet and try to feel for that warning track to know when the railing's coming up.
He had to go well over 100 feet to get this.
Once you get to the dirt, then you know, okay, I got about 10 feet before I'm going to hit that railing. Looking up toward that sun, there's no way you could look down, find the railing, and then look back up.
Ryan Howard pokes one to right field for a 2-out single. That ends a string of 10 in a row set down by Burnett. Last hit off of AJ came in the 4th inning from Frank Coor. AJ had retired everybody consecutively up until Howard here. Kel Franco. Third baseman 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out back to Burnett. AJ in his 21st start, 22nd appearance against the Phillies. Ball is short. Mercer there. He'll go the short way. Flips to Harrison. They force out Howard. 7th inning stretch at PNC Park. Still scoreless. We'll take you around the ballpark on this Kids Day Sunday afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you.
Turned out to be a sun-splashed Sunday afternoon. Must have been a special at the sign store on that one. That one you can use anytime.
All day.
All day. All day out on the river. A lot of kayaks out there today. Staying cool at the ballpark. Here's Corey Hart to lead off against Cole Hamels. A swing and a miss.
Earlier I was talking about an opportunity to score more than one run. Right now I think I'd take just one.
That's all it might take.
Yeah, just figure a way to get one across.
Hamels gets ahead of him. Hamels with a season high 11 strikeouts. It's his first double-digit strikeout game this year. 28th of his career. His career high is 15. It was against the Reds. And Hart strikes out. That is a dozen strikeouts for Hamels. Nissan rode ahead a 4-game, 2-city series against the Chicago White Sox. White Sox pitchers will hit for 2, and then the DH will be in play. See Rodon against Liriano tomorrow night. Quintana and Morton on Tuesday night. Then on the south side, it'll be Locke against Danks and Garrett Cole against Jeff Samardzija on Thursday night. And the Buccos will head on to Washington for 3 with the Nationals. And AJ will pitch the first game of the Nationals series. So the Pirates having a bout with the strikeout today. Cole Hamels, a dozen of them, struck out the side of the 5th. He has had at least 1 strikeout in every inning. Mercer to right field. That ball will be caught by a running Dominic Brown. There are 2 men out for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. He's enjoying one right now, so is she. That's the corrected lens Batman version. And is that a fair ball? Apparently it is. AJ won't run. Hamels will step on the back. That's a 1 unassisted. And the Pirates gone in order. And that version of Batman wants the ball. Hamels with only 7 pitches.
Scoreless game in the 8th inning. Pirates have one player that's on fire down on the farm, and that is Alan Hansen. The Pirates signed him back in 2009 as an international free agent from the Dominican, and he's adds to the very deep prospect pool that the Pirates have. Now he's had the best month of his career at the highest level, the minor leagues. He's the International League's Player of the Month in May, and you see what he's done. A .362 average, led the entire league in the month of May. Now, GM Neil Huntington said he's a guy that can have an impact offensively because he can drive a ball to the gaps, he can be a tough out, and he's also a threat on the bases. Now, he was a shortstop coming up until this year. He was moved to second base so that his bat would play, and certainly that has been the case. Now, Hansen was signed, get this, for just $90,000 back in 2009 by renowned scout Rene Gallo, and is one of the reasons, Tim and Bob, that the Pirates have one of the top farm systems in all of baseball. So Alan Hansen living up to the hype. International League Player of the Month for May.
That was a good find by Rene, without question. Oh, no score. We head to the top of the 8th. Dominic Brown leading off. A.J. Burnett starting the 8th inning. Defensive change for the Pirates. As showed you, Sean Rodriguez is now in at first base. Polanco out on right field. Corey Hart out. 1-0. And a ground ball towards second. Right there is J-Head. Flipped first, one gone. Brown is 0 for 3.
Well, one of the things we talked about right from the very beginning was that AJ has been let down a couple of times of late defensively, not really good tight defense. Today the defense has been just remarkable, outstanding, several great plays. AJ's given up a few hard hit balls that those guys turn into outs.
Jung Ho with a sensational play against Frank Court, leading off the 7th inning. Rodriguez, McCutchen, both with outstanding outfield plays today. There's Galvis, takes a strike. Philly shortstop was the one who was robbed by Rodriguez in the 5th. One ball and one strike.
Coming into today, AJ's been getting so many ground balls.
Gets ahead of Galvis 1-2. We saw Ken Giles warming up for the Phillies. He was the pitcher who ended up in the dugout on Friday night, getting some stern words from his manager and pitching coach.
Strike out there, bouncing that in the ground, trying to get that chase.
Hamels over 100 pitches now, 102 for Cole Hamels. So the Phillies with activity in the pen. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second.
And that's what we're used to, the ground balls.
2 men out. This week's Inside Pirates Baseball. Garrett Cole is fast becoming the ace of the Pirates staff and one of the best starters in Major League Baseball. Francisco Cervelli invites us to root on his favorite soccer team or football. There's plenty on this week's edition of Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. Carlos Ruiz takes inside. Cervelli, a big fan of the Juventus club in the Italian Serie A. Two and out to Ruiz. Ruiz 0 for 2, grounded out to third in the 3rd, and then lined out to J. Hay at second in the 6th. This pitching duel has been a heavyweight fight. Punch and counter punch. Defense making plays behind both guys. And Hamels has been carrying the load for the Phillies. This one is hit into right field for a base hit. Polanco will retrieve it. So a 2-out single. 2nd inning in a row. The Phillies have had a 2-out base hit. That's going to do it for Cole Hamels. He'll come out of the ball game. Be pinch hit for.
That might be a good hit to give up then, huh? See how it works out. It can't get any worse having somebody else come in and pitch. Hamels gone now. As long as you don't give up a run here, that's a good thing. With a 2-out single, you would hope that AJ can get this one over with.
Hamels 7 innings, a season high 12 strikeouts. And Andres Blanco pops up the first pitch to left field. Shading the center of his glove is Marte. And A.J. Burnett gives up a hit. That's it in the 8th. Going to the bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh. Ken Giles was asked to walk Pedro Alvarez. He didn't want to do it. And Cameron Rupp, the catcher, said, come on, we got to do this. And he went out there and had to talk to him, calm him down. Ends up with the bases loaded. Started Mercer out 3-0, then struck him out. And then Sandberg, the Hall of Famer, getting in the face of Ken Giles once he get back to the dugout. Larry Bowa watching on, and then it continued. Bob McClure, the pitching coach. Arms folded. Body English, not good for Giles. And that's the scene from Friday night in the Phillies dugout. And now Giles makes his first appearance since then. It's not the first dugout blow up in the history of the game. Won't be the last, but
no, it happens occasionally. It's just a tough thing with the Phillies. Their record is poor, having a bad season, so that sort of thing really gets. It looks even worse, I think, in that scenario. That makes it look like things are just kind of coming apart.
I guess it depends on the manager's style. But what can happen after that, either the night of or the next day? Usually there's
anything can happen.
Be a meeting over that.
Anything can happen. I have no idea what went on behind closed doors. But I guess it could carry on the rest of the year. You could have an apology to the team, or you could maybe not have anything.
Well, Giles on here on Sunday afternoon, the same situation, a 0-0 game.
So he doesn't have to walk anybody intentionally.
Well, I think if he does, we'll see a different reaction from him.
Maybe.
Just a guess. Two and two on Harrison. Harrison 1 for 3. And Jay hits one in the air to left field. And Francoeur over by the line. 1 out. Well, as Steve said late in the game on Friday night, let's get some run. Singular. Marte to face Giles. Marte an infield single in the first, grounded to short in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth.
A little bit of a breeze blowing out the left. It'd be great to get that run in the 8th and win it in the 9th.
Well, no activity in the Pirates pen. A.J. Burnett fully expects to come out in the 9th. His pitch count is very reasonable.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely great job with that.
83 pitches, 59 strikes for Burnett through 8.
Good defense, be efficient. I forgot to add score run, and I put my wish list together.
An oversight on your part.
Yeah. Details it mean a lot.
Marte lines it to left, and that ball's hanging up, but it'll get down. Francoeur thought about it for a moment, but realized he couldn't get to it. That's the second hit, and the 8th hit of the series for Starling Marte. A go-ahead run on base. Allegheny Health Network Supermo giving us a great look at the swing.
Saw the velocity of that fastball was 97. Giles has an excellent arm. All the tools to be very, very good.
Wind heading in the direction of left field. Andrew McCutchen at the plate. And the pitch low. At this stage of the game, you got a guy who can steal a base. You take that chance with Marte to try to get a guy in scoring position for Kutch.
Yep.
Marte leading from first base. One ball and no strikes to McCutcheon. One and one.
Yeah, I think the only time you give Marte the stop sign is, let's say Kutch was the tying run, then you don't want to make it out on the bases in this scenario. Marte, his speed, one of the biggest weapons on this team. I'm sure he has the green light to get to second base if he can.
Relay of the signs. Manager to third base coach to base runner. And hit it. There goes Marte, and no pitch. Time was called. Very late time called by Corey Blazer. Marte had already broken as time was being called. Time, and McCutcheon strikes out. Kutch 1 for 4.
See that ball spinning like a football going in there. Slider spin.
Jung Ho looking for a big hit now. He's 0 for 2 of the walk. And he swings and misses for strike 1.
One of the great things for the viewers at home to see the slow-mo on those pitches, to see exactly why the ball does what it does. It's all about the spin.
Jung Ho down the third base line at Hook's foul. Out in front of it, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, turned it around, but too much. She'll put that in the purse. I'll take a picture first, though. Two strikes on Jung Ho. Marte goes, swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning, the 14th Pirate to strike out. Gung struck out 3 times today. By Miller Lite. A.J. Burnett now standing inning today so far. He's heading in to work the 9th inning. He's through 8 so far. Hasn't given up a run. Came in with a 1.60 ERA in 5 home starts. Keeping it right where it is. Scoreless. And a good day for AJ.
Three more outs. I guess the way his pitch count is right now, he could theoretically go 10, huh?
If he has another short inning, he's averaging just over 10 pitches an inning today. So
wouldn't that be something?
Well, he'll face the top of the order for the Phillies now. Ben Revere, who's 0 for 3.
When's the last time Pirate had a 10-inning complete game?
Or if he had it, I don't know. It's been a long time. That'd be one to look up. Jordy with a backhanded stab. Oh! And the door opened a crack for the Phillies. Ball was hit hard down to Mercer. Made a great stab, and Rodriguez couldn't collect the throw.
I don't know what we'll see on the replay, but if the ball bounced, I mean, it was just bounced right. It didn't bounce. Didn't bounce. Sean just didn't catch it.
Well, man at first and nobody out. Just the second time in the game that's been the case. Francoeur, who was robbed of a hit down the line by Jung Ho in the 7th inning. Revere credited with a base hit. 5th hit for the Phillies. Top of the 9th, no score. Second time in this series this has been the case. Friday night we went 13 for the Pirates. Got their first walk-off win of the year on Starling Marte's single up the middle, scoring Chris Stewart. And a strike. 0-2. Pitcher's pitch.
Hey.
Fouled off the Phillies with their best base stealer at first base, Ben Revere. 14 steals for Revere. A lot of donuts up there today. 0-2. There goes Revere. This one is a swung on a miss, strike 3. And now Revere is going to stay at second base as he moves up. Francoeur is out. And there's one down. There's a runner at first base, so Francoeur is out.
I don't know if that could have been a cross-up. Oh, I know. The runner wasn't running. That's why he went after that. Yeah, Revere took off trying to steal. That was why he didn't get down and try to block that. He just tried to pick it out of the dirt. And normally when you get a curveball in the dirt, you never try to just pick it with a glove. You got to get down and try to block it. But because Revere was on the way, there's the risk reward is to try and catch it.
Oh, that's a foul ball by Chase Utley, and Ryan Sandberg's going to come up the dugout steps. Larry Bola, his bench coach, is going to go down to the phones, and Phillies might want to take a look at this. That is reviewable because it is behind the umpire. And
foul.
Just foul. Boy, Jeff Nelson right on it.
Awfully close to hitting that fair line.
All right, Sandberg figures, what the heck, let's have him take a look, but we just saw it. That's a foul ball. Great shot. Our great camera people provided for us here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Phillies are challenging Baltimore field with this rule foul ball.
I think this will be confirmed pretty quickly by the folks in New York.
Why challenge that?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, they are seeing, the Phillies folks are seeing the same thing that we're seeing. They have the same look. All with the shot.
Beautifully done.
Right on it. So that's a strike to Chase Utley. A 44-second review officially. Runner at second base is Revere. One out. And the 0-1 pitch. There goes Revere for third. Throw down by Cervelli. Not in time. And he's out. He overslid. Revere was off the bag. Jung Ho kept the glove on him. And there are two down.
That is absolutely a huge play. And he gets to third with just one out.
In a situation where if Sandberg wanted to review that, he couldn't. Wanted to challenge it, he couldn't. He's lost his challenge. He could ask the umpires to look at it. They don't have to give it to him. And Cervelli. A high throw that gets the out. And Utley takes a backdoor breaking ball for a strike.
Did a good job of blocking that curveball.
And interesting when you look at the strike zone, Bob, that pitch to Utley where Revere was trying to steal and Cervelli threw down to third. It was well in the strike zone, but called the ball. Good block by Cervelli.
Quickly go to his right to get the center of his body in front of that one.
She kept it in front. Good play, and he's got himself a brand new baseball.
They'll be playing with catch backyard here. A couple more hours. A brand new ball.
2-2. Now it's 3-2. Top of the ninth, Ryan Howard on deck. Chase Utley, a two-strike count, full count to him. This will be the 96th pitch of the game for A.J. Burnett. The payoff. And he walked him.
A lot of strikes. Didn't get called that time.
Another one.
Yep. That just caught the bottom of the zone.
There were 4 pitches in the strike zone. Just 2 of them were called strikes. And that'll activate the bullpen. Jared Hughes will get going. And now to get Howard. Swing and a miss. Got a base hit in the 7th inning. He's flied out twice, once deep to center. That was in his first at bat. In the top of the first, Utley takes off for second. Cervelli will block the pitch. It'll be ball 1. So now the go-ahead runs in scoring position with 2 out.
Kind of took him for granted over there. Huge jump. Boy, should have been watching him a lot closer than that. He's go-ahead run.
Just his second stolen base of the year.
He had a running start practically.
First activity for the Pirates in the pen this afternoon. Comes with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. In scoreless, 5 hits apiece. 2-1. A.J. falling behind Howard. Strike 2. Two and two to the big Philly first baseman. Down to first base. Rodriguez will handle it himself. A.J. Burnett has pitched 9 shutout innings. First time since July 31st, 2012 against the Cubs. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Still scoreless at PNC Park.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Alan James Burnett. 9 shutout innings, 5 hits scattered. And A.J. Burnett. A big smile from his manager, Clint Hurdle, with his effort today. Buccos need to get him 1 run as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. They get 1 run, they make him a winner. He certainly deserves a win today. Reliever Luis Garcia makes his 2nd appearance in the series.
Garcia, 2-2 record. Maybe it could be 2-3. There's 5 hits. The efficiency was outstanding. You look at the pitch count. I mean, he could actually go out and pitch the 10th.
Rodriguez takes inside for a ball. Rodriguez, before this at bat, during the commercial break, talked to home plate umpire Corey Glazer. His last time up, he didn't leave home plate very happy.
Want to get on better terms before this at bat. But by the way, last at bat, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I didn't really mean it.
You were asking about different things that can happen. Well, there's one of them after a disagreement.
2-1. Chopper, and that's going to be a base hit for Rodriguez. The winning run aboard in the bottom of the ninth.
Let's go, Serpico. Not only did he get the chop, he got a nice little hop to the foul line right there at the end.
Pirates open a home and away series against the White Sox tomorrow. Interleague play starting at PNC Park. Our coverage starts at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Carlos Rodon and Francisco Liriano battle left-handers tomorrow night, but we've got something cooking here in the bottom of the ninth of a scoreless game. Cervelli will square around. Franco way in on the grass at third. The time is called. Pirates will try to manufacture a run. All he needs one to win the ball game. Garcia delivers. And the bunt perfectly placed up the first base side. Nice job by Cervelli. And now the Pirates have a winning run in scoring position.
Cervelli did that nice, didn't he?
Really nice.
Got a breaking ball to bunt. Caught it with the end of the bat. Man, guys don't bunt that well off the machine. It's just laying them in there.
We'll walk Polanco here. The first base open. Sandberg realizing that Polanco's run doesn't mean anything. It's the run at second base that means the most. Jordy Mercer is on deck.
Gonna be a walker.
Yeah, Walker's going to come out. He would hit for Mercer. So move and counter move. The wheels are turning here in the ninth inning.
Well, Sandberg knows Walker's over there, so I mean that's his decision. He knows that there's a good chance that Walker will be the hitter. In his mind, he's picking. Do I want Polanco? Do I want Walker?
Polanco down to first base. Intentional walk. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the ninth. Bob McClure will come out with a pinch hitter coming up. He will give Garcia the word. You'd think maybe, knowing that Walker was coming up, he would have Elvis Araujo, a left-handed pitcher, the one he's got left in the bullpen, up and going, but nobody backing up Garcia here late in the ballgame.
Alvarez on deck.
Knowing he had Walker over there, he had Alvarez still on the bench. Well, let's see what Walker can do and give those fans a chance to use the brooms today. Neal looking for a big hit coming off the bench. Walker 254, 4 home runs, and 23 runs batted in. Garcia against lefties. Look at the lefties average against him this year. 389. Gets away and everybody stays put. Didn't get away too far. Rodriguez knows he is the winning run. He's got to be careful.
Good decision. Go back. That one didn't get away very far.
One. Pirates are trying to make a winner out of A.J. Burnett today. Get one run, he'll get a decision positively. His 7th win if the Bucks can score here.
Looking for that walk-off hit from Walker.
1-2. Neal's last walk-off hit came on the 21st of April last season against Cincinnati. On a base hit. Fielders with a gap in left center field. Playing midway out there. Here's the pitch. And Neal goes down swinging. Walker strikes out.
Neal was able to lay off the first breaking ball that was down. Then once he took one for a strike, then he chased the next 2. 4 straight breaking balls.
And Pedro Alvarez probably expecting to see some more breaking balls.
Yeah, you would think that he's over there in the on-deck circle. He saw that Walker just got one right after another. He will probably see the same.
2 on, 2 out. Alvarez takes a fastball for a strike that was off his shoelaces.
Kidding me. Wow, how about that? A bad time for this call. Man.
And now Corey Blazer has thrown Clint Hurdle out of the game. And Clint now will get his money's worth. Crew Chief Jeff Nelson coming in to lend a hand to the home plate umpire. Second time this season Clint has been ejected. He was ejected.
Balls and strikes.
Back in mid-April. Yeah, you can't argue the balls and strikes.
That's mainly what guys get ejected for anymore, because you don't really argue anything. But this is what you can still argue. Kind of thought that Blazer would let him, say his piece a little bit more, though, on that one. He had to know that was a bad miss when he made the call. He probably wanted to take it back. Usually when that happens, you'll let the manager maybe say a little bit over there before you give him the thumb.
0-1 to Alvarez. And a check swing, and he has run up for strike 2. Came across the front edge of home plate. Alvarez in the hole, 0-2. Rodriguez, the winning run out at second base. One ball, 2 strikes. It's been a while since Pedro's last walk-off. It was in the 2010 season against the Colorado Rockies. Had a 3-run home run in the 10th off then Rockies closer Houston Street.
Outfield plenty deep. They have an awful hard time throwing anybody out at the plate on a single.
Bonus baseball on a Sunday. We're going to extra innings, scoreless for the second time this weekend.
Long. Jack Link's beef jerky, feed your wild side.
Well, Clint Hurdle certainly has a beef with Corey Blazer, arguing that first pitch fastball that was called a strike that tickled the shoelaces of Pedro, and a very quick hook considering a poor call. But nonetheless, the manager gets ejected for the second time this season, and we're going on to the 10th inning. Pedro strikes out as a pinch hitter, but boy, he got behind 0-1. Wasn't his fault.
Yeah, he got put on his back foot right away with that first call.
Solid third baseman Franco up facing Jared Hughes. Hughes takes over for Burnett. Swing and a miss. AJ, what a day. Deserved to win for sure, but one of his best outings. 9 innings of shutout baseball today. Jung Ho moves over to short. Neal is at second base. Jay Hay over at third, and there's Bonser wide.
That's a shame. Couldn't get that run across for him. He played some great defense behind him this afternoon. Can't complain too much. Certainly used the leather. Jared's numbers on the season.
Ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2 now to Franco. 0 for 3 today. He has the Phillies' longest hitting streak going on currently, 11 games. Dave Joust taking over as the temporary skipper. Broken bat roller, third base side. Harrison. 1 down in the Phillies' 10th. Jared gets the ground ball. And as a bonus, the bat breaks.
Not his typical ground ball location, though. I hit that ball kind of up and in. I get that sinker up and in. It got a little tail on it, jumps in on the handle. Break a lot of bats in there.
Ground ball by Dominic Brown, right back to Hughes. 2 down quickly. And Brown, his first day back in the big leagues, 0 for 4. Big crowd today, better than 34,000 on this Kids Day Sunday afternoon. Nothing. Eyeball to eyeball in the 10th inning. Right now, this series has been pretty competitive. 2 one-run games. Pirates winning 1-0 in 13 innings Friday. Winning a 1-run game 4-3 last night. And there's a huge chance it'll be a 1-run game here today. I'd say better than average. 1-0 pitch from Hughes. Galvis swings and misses. Galvis 0 for 3. Back in the 5th inning, Sean Rodriguez committed highway robbery against him, laying out, making a tremendous catch. 2-1. Check swing, it's 2-2. Foul ball. Jonathan Papelbon getting up. He has not appeared in this series. Galvis, a ground ball right to Sean Rodriguez. 3 ground balls for Jared Hughes. 1, 2, 3 go to Phils in the 10th. Hopefully walk-off time. Top of the order coming up. Bottom of the 10th inning. Extra innings for the second time in this series. Some changes now for the Phillies as Ben Revere has moved over to left field. Odubel Herrera is the new center fielder coming off the bench. He'll go into the 9 spot in the batting order. Double switch for the Phillies. Frank Gore moves from left to right, with Dominic Brown coming out of the game. And into pitch for Philadelphia is their closer, Jonathan Papelbon. Papelbon facing the Pirates in the bottom of the 10th of a scoreless game. And Josh Harrison will face him. And a first ball, ground ball to short. One pitch, 1 out for Papelbon.
Papelbon putting up some good numbers. You saw him there on the screen. He's another one of those guys. We talked about this a lot. Cole Hamels was out there about where he might be going later on this year. What about Papelbon? He definitely would be attractive to certain teams in contention the last couple months of the season.
Marte had the walk-off hit on Friday night.
The Phillies certainly have some cards to trade, don't they?
They do. They do. Big contracts on some of them, though. That could pose some obstacles, maybe, maybe not.
Might depend on what you want in return.
About a month and a half to figure it all out. Yep. Non-waiver trading deadline, the end of July. Marte hits one deep to left center field toward the notch. This ball is in the notch. Marte around first into second base with a double. And the Pirates have the winning run in scoring position.
Great job, obviously, Marte hitting that the gap. Maybe a little tip of the cap also to Revere. Able to run that ball down. Was a 1 hop he got to it? I was hoping that ball would get by him, rattle around in that corner a little bit, and Marte could be in third with just 1 out. Revere able to catch up to that ball and get it back to the infield quickly enough. Marte had no choice but to stop at second.
Well, Marte saying to Revere just what you were saying.
Yeah, good job. Kept me from third.
Well, the defensive switch just happened to work out because, you know, Frank Gore runs well, but not as well as Revere. Not anybody in the Phillies does. They will walk Andrew McCutchen at first base open. Same situation here that it was in the 9th with runner at second and 1 out. First base open. Polanco was walked. And here, former National League MVP being walked. This will put 2 men on with 1 out. And give Jung Ho Kang a chance. Young's had a tough day so far. He struck out 3 times and walked once. So that means he's due. With Marte at second base, he has owned the Phillies this weekend. 3 straight 3-hit games. Chris Stewart, he scored the game winner in extra innings on Friday night. Driven in by the Marte hit. And Kang to left field. Revere will come on and make the catch. And they're up 2 down.
Revere in playing a little shallow because he wants to give himself a chance of throwing out Marte with Marte's great speed in case there's a base hit. And what paid off, he's able to make the catch on that line drive. I don't think Marte would have been able to score on that anyway because he couldn't take off running with just 1 out. He had to hold up. Even if Revere doesn't catch that ball, he gets it on 1 hop. But then we'd had the bases loaded. I don't like that.
2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 10th. Sean Rodriguez, the batter. Papelbon's pitch. In for a strike. Rodriguez had an infield single in the ninth. Led off the inning, and he represented the winning run last inning. Papelbon's 0-1 coming. One and one. His first career walk-off hit came last May with the Rays. In a game against the Athletics, he had a 3-run homer. He's just got to get that guy in. Outfield shallow. And the pitch fouled back. And it's 1-2 to Sean Rodriguez.
See the infield, or excuse me, the outfield there. Pinched in a little bit more than normal. Look at practically the acreage behind them. That's a great shot. You can see how far it is to the fence from them. They are as close as they dare. Want to play at the plate if there's a hit.
1-2 in the air to right. Francoeur drifting by the line. And we'll go to the 11th. The Pirates, for the second straight inning, leave the winning run in scoring position.
Season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
Well, at least we got an earlier start today than we did Friday.
Now, when's the last time we had a no-score game going to extra innings? It's pretty rare, huh?
It is, especially twice in 3 days.
Here we are again.
Last one lasted 13 innings. Here is Antonio Bastardo taking over for Jared Hughes, who pitched a clean 10th inning, getting 3 ground ball outs.
21 games, 15 strikeouts, 15 innings.
Antonio Bastardo's been pitching okay, and Jeff Locke has gone to the bullpen. He's out there right now.
Yeah, they're going to try and probably stay away from Watson.
Jeff gets a different looking seat than normal. Have another left-handed option out there. So Jeff gets to visit with the members of the Shark Tank. Carlos Ruiz will lead off, facing Antonio Bastardo. It'll be Ruiz, the catcher, who is 1 for 3 today. And Bastardo's First pitch. That's ball one. A little bit outside. This one will be better. That's strike one. Well, it's an even count. One ball and one strike. Top of the 11th inning at PNC Park. Ruiz lost the bat on the foul ball into the glove of Cervelli.
Well, that went in there with some velocity. Hope everybody's okay.
So the pitcher throws one to the backstop. Now the batter throws one in the stands.
It bounced right off the top of the dugout.
It's scary when that bat sneaks up on you like that.
You said anywhere around that dugout area, you better be watching that ball game. Every pitch, high on home plate. Don't look down to text or anything like that.
Well, yeah, he caught the bat. Now getting ready to take a picture of it. 2-2. A little low, and the count is full now. It's a kid's day. He should have the bat. Payoff pitch. In the air to right center. Polanco gallops over and makes the play. One out. So here we are on the top of the 11th at PNC Park. Along with Bob Walk and Robbie Smikowski, I'm Tim Never. No score. 7 hits for the Bucks, 5 for the Phillies. Cole Hamels outstanding today. A season high 12 strikeouts over 7 innings pitched. Jeff Francoeur 2 hits. A.J. Burnett, wonderful start for him. 9 innings of shutout baseball. Struck out 4, scattered 5 hits. And Starling Marte 3 hits today. He has 9 hits in this series. He's been wearing out the Phillies, but in 2 of these games, he has helped to produce just 1 run so far. That was Friday night, the game winner. Odubel Herrera, his first plate appearance today, batting in the 9 spot. Came in as part of the double switch last inning that got Papelbon in the game.
If you're a lefty, you really don't want to hang in there after seeing that first pitch of the inning. And Herrera definitely gave ground on the first pitch he saw.
Rule 5 pick from the Rangers. Herrera to left field. It'll hang up there, and Marte runs it down. 2 out. Weather cooperating nicely today. It did rain a little before the game. Pitchers got just a slightly late start warming up. About 5 minutes late start in the game, but nothing.
I think they're getting some heavy weather, I believe, to the south of us, not too far. I was checking just an inning ago. A lot of warnings down that way. High winds and hail out by Washington.
Revere takes a strike. Castardo pumps one over the inside corner. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men out, bases empty for the Phillies in the 11th. Revere took it a little bit up. Revere had an infield single in the 9th, stole second, was trying to swipe third base, had it, but then his foot came off the bag, and Jung Ho, who was playing third at the time, made a great play and kept his glove on the foot of Revere. When it came up, he was called out. And a ground ball past Bastardo. Charging is Jung Ho. And it's a base hit for Revere. His second single.
Like a ball that Bastardo could have caught, too. Check it out. Oh, yeah, right underneath the glove.
Well, Jung Ho had to come a long way. He was playing deep, and with
once Bastardo didn't catch it, heck, Revere's already on to the next town.
That was good, Bob. Here's Frank Core. And throw to first base, Revere back. So Revere uses the real sun glare black. See, he's got the greasy stuff. It's all over his jersey. A lot of guys today will use the cleaner version. They're actually like Band-Aids. Pull a backing off, and they're like a sticker put under your eye. Doesn't get the laundryman upset. 1-0 to Frank Core. 2 for 4 today. Doubled back in the first. Singled in the fourth. Almost doubled in the seventh, if not for a terrific play by Jung Ho Kang. And goes to the right side. Walker is there. He'll throw on to first. And it's back to the bat rack for the Pirates in the bottom of the 11th. Pushing along here on this Sunday afternoon, bottom of the 11th inning, no score. Pirates need just one. And Jonathan Papelbon out for another inning of work. He has worked an inning and a third this year, but it was back on the 8th of April against Boston. Inside of Cervelli for ball one. And the last time that Papelbon has pitched more than an inning and a third, July 22nd of last year, he pitched 2 full innings against the Giants. Cervelli with 1 hit today. And a 1-1 count to Francisco. Well, the deeper you get in a ball game like this, you're thinking about, okay, who's left? Pirates still have Jose Tabata and Chris Stewart on the bench. And Friday night, it was getting down to cases where they were thinking about having to need a third catcher. And in that case, it would be Sean Rodriguez as the emergency catcher. And there was even a thought that had they needed an additional first baseman, where Rodriguez was playing first, he would have had to come in. Charlie Morton was an option. Also, A.J. Burnett was being considered as an option to go out and play first base had that game gone deeper than 13 innings.
They're the tallest pitchers. Is that how that goes?
I guess so. Whatever their qualifications were, they were the ones they were considering, but fortunately it didn't come to that. Vance Worley and Rob Scahill throwing. Kutch and the boys trying to figure a way to come up with another victory in this series against the Phillies. 2-2 to Cervelli. Strike 3 call. 1 down. Cervelli questioning Corey Blazer. Let's take a look at it.
Right on the edge.
One out, base is empty. Gregory Polanco to face Jonathan Papelbon. Strike 1. Pedro Alvarez had his one at bat today as a pinch hitter. Struck out in the 9th. 2 outs. And this one hit up in the air to center field. Herrera looking for it, drifting over toward left side. 2 outs. And now it'll be up to Neil Walker. Walker against Papelbon is 0 for 4. He's not had a hit off of him yet in his career. Hasn't faced him all that much. Pitch low to Neal. Rocky Balboa and Clubber Lang. AJ was Rocky Balboa. Well, no, Clubber Lang won that fight, so he's got to be AJ and Balboa Hamels. But it is like a heavyweight fight. Walker base hit. Almost took the head of Papelbon right off. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Pirates have the winning run aboard. Jab to the jaw right there by Neil Walker.
Took that pitch. It was actually off the plate a little bit away. Shot it right back at him.
Jose Tabata up to pinch hit here in the 11th. 292 through 17 games. Papelbon's pitch. Strike 1 to Jose. Tabata batting for the pitcher, Antonio Bastardo. Papelbon an inning and 2/3 of work. Walker at first base. And the 0-1 to Tabata. Now it's 0-2. Bastardo, a scoreless inning in relief. Gave up just 1 hit. Lance Worley will come out should we go to the 12th. Oh, 2 to Jose Tabata. That'll wait to throw to first. Walker back easily. Hill 1 for 2 in the game. And Papelbon coming back with the 0-2. Fouled off of Carlos Ruiz. This guy has saved an awful lot of ball games, not only for the Phillies but for the Red Sox. Another foul ball. Jose stays alive.
Trying to find a way to get on. Keep the inning going. Give J-Hay a chance with somebody in scoring position.
Josh looks like he's played a game, huh? He's been in it. So Papelbon again with an 0-2 pitch. And top of the ground ball left side. Gallus. High throw. That's into the seats. And Walker will stop at third. Tabata gets to second on the error. Freddie Galvis had to go a little bit to his right to make this play, but the throw well off target. And it bounces up into the first row. As Diaz positioning the runners, second and third.
Now this is the way he's fouling those pitches off. That's what you're thinking. You know, anyway, just get on base. However, and have one shot. Base hit to win the ball game. Now you got it. J-Hay at the plate.
Walker is the winning run 90 feet away. 2 men out. First base open, Marte on deck. They're not going to they don't want to get to Marte. So certainly Harrison's going to get the opportunity. And J-Hay base hit. Pirates walk it off. The Bucks sweep the Phils. J-Hay's first walk-off hit since last June 27th against the Mets.
All you were needing, just a little single, a ground ball someplace where nobody's standing. And that would be the game. And think back now. Think back to the Tabata at bat where he's just battling up there with 2 strikes, fouling off a couple of pitches, trying to stay alive. He does stay alive, ends up getting a ball put in play. Runners move up. Walker moves up. J-Hay knocks him in.
Pirates have now won 4 straight. 3 of those have been shutout wins.
Yeah, here it is. They tried to go inside with a fastball. It was right on the corner. Man, Jay, hey, not trying to do a whole lot with it. He's staying inside the baseball with that swing. I mean, he knows exactly what he needs there. Just put something out there that you don't have to hit it. You don't have to blister it somewhere. Just hit it firm out there. Try and find a hole.
Breaking out the brooms in the Berg. As the Buccos sweep the Phils. The Phillies have now lost 10 straight road games, and the Pirates now a season best 8 games over 500, 35 and 27. Robbie and Smokowski with All Day Jay Hay.
All Day Jay Hay sends the Bucks home a winner. They complete the 3-game weekend sweep, 4 wins in a row. A season-high 8 games over 500. Josh, what is it about this team? Another scoreless, really long ball game, coming away victorious. What does it say about this club to do it twice in 3 days?
Hold on.
Well, here, let's use the other side of the towel. Clean you off a little bit. Well, at least you knew it was coming. Whipped cream, right?
Yeah, it's real good, too.
It is real good. So the man that just pied you, A.J. Burnett, 9 scoreless innings today. What do you think led to his success, and what kind of boost did that provide this ball club?
Man, he got ahead early, and they knew he was throwing strikes, and he got a lot of ground balls. And, I mean, that's what that guy's been doing all year. He's done it for a reason.
You're facing one of the preeminent closers in the game, and Jonathan Papelbon. What happened in that at-bat that enabled you to get the game-winning hit?
Well, my at-bat before that, I felt like I saw the ball pretty well on him. And right away when they didn't walk me to get to Marte, I knew they were going to try to be careful because Marte been swinging it, but you got to be ready. And he threw a fastball I could handle, and I just put a good swing on it.
What's this experience like to walk it off twice in 3 games in front of sellout crowds here on the North Shore?
Oh, it's amazing, man. Great energy. And anytime you can get a sweep, you know you want to keep it going.
Josh, this team, we talked about it yesterday, 22-11 since May 9th. This team has played fantastic baseball. What has been the key to consistency and playing at a high level?
We're doing all the little things, man. You know, from starting pitching to the bullpen coming in, you know, making incredible plays, you know, routine plays as well. And, you know, getting timely hits, even if it does take 11 or 13 innings.
Clint Hurdle said a week ago he wants his team to play better defense. Sean Rodriguez, Andrew McCutchen, Jung Ho Gung. We saw it all over the place today. What has led to the consistent defense?
Just work, man. We're blessed to play this game, and when you put that together with hard work, you know, guys can do whatever.
Josh Harrison, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Dan and Teak, how about that performance? Jay Hay all day, getting it done when it matters the most.
Absolutely, and Jay Hay not afraid of pressure either. Comes up with a possible game-winning hit situation, comes through. Knows that he's going to get a pie in the face, no problem. Go ahead and give me the pie.
Hey, the guy that gave him the pie in the face,
yeah,
he earned the right.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, the Pirates had no problem scoring runs on their recent road swing where they won 7 of 10 games. Scoring runs has not been as easy on this homestand. But here we are 6 days into it, they're 4-2.
Well, and you talk about it all the time, Danny. You know, there are times when, you know, you're going to go through stretches where you don't score runs. There's times when you're going to go through stretches where you don't pitch well. But at the end of the day, there's only one number that matters to anybody. It's not ERA, it's not batting average, it's runs scored. And the Pirates are finding a way to score just enough runs to get the decision in the win column for them. And, you know, that is continued. Even though the hitting has changed completely from the road trip to the homestand, the results have stayed pretty much the same.
All right, it's time for Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and Jay Hay has certainly been bringing the lumber quite a bit over the last few weeks as he continues to move that batting average north. And the 11th inning comes on with 2 on and 2 out in, and he knew it right away. First pitch from Jonathan Papelbon, and yeah, bring it on. I'll take the hug. As the Buccos move to a season best 8 games over 500 and sweep the Philadelphia Phillies. Good times at PNC Park on Flag Day. Yeah, I'll take it. Yummy. He did say it tasted good, so it wasn't shaving cream.
No, it was nice whipped cream. AJ giving the Royal treat.
That's true. All right, you know, we are just getting started on this victorious version of Pirates postgame presented by Allegheny Health Network. We'll take you inside the Pirate Clubhouse for player reaction after they sweep the Phillies. You'll hear from manager Clint Hurdle. Ask Teak, extended highlights, analysis. Where are you going? Pirates postgame presented by Allegheny Health Network coming up after a 1-0 win over the Philadelphia Phillies on Root Sports.